Yesterday on CBS Sports, I updated my latest mock draft, and to help me break it all down is Kyle Boone. Now, Boone and I, who I like to call the nicest man in America, he really is just an exceptionally kind person. Every week, we jump on a variant, shall we say, of the Eye on College Basketball podcast, and we talk about the NBA draft. That's going to be going in full force as soon as this tournament is over. But Boone, we have had some stock risers here in the NCAA tournament in the weeks that preceded that. I wanted to start with Tre Johnson. He is a big riser on my board. I've got him in the top 6 now, which is truthfully higher than I thought I ever would. Just had a terrific season for Texas. The thing he's done, he's scored in volume, but he's done it with more efficiency. What are your thoughts on Tre Johnson? Let's just be clear. There's no way he's playing college basketball. He's going to the lottery. He's going to be in the NBA next year.
Yeah, no, I think he's had one of the more impressive seasons among players in the one-and-done realm this year for Texas, and led all freshmen in major conference players in scoring this season, over 19 points per game. One of only 10 players this season to average at least 19 points and shoot at least 39% from three. And I think that's kind of the selling point for him, right? As an NBA prospect, he's got great size. He's a really good scorer, very polished in terms of his ability to create on offense. And we saw throughout this season at Texas, his development as a passer as well, I think is very exciting. So, I think both of us had him as a potential late lottery type prospect, and he's certainly improved throughout the year to a point where, I have him at number 5 in my latest mock draft. This is a guy who has steadily risen throughout the year and really grown on me as a two-way player who I think can make an immediate impact at the scoring guard position.
All right, so trending up for both of us. Now, one guy that we were somewhat split on was Duke's Kon Knueppel. And now, as you can see, Boone is in studio. He's in Florida. I'm in Connecticut. In Connecticut with me last night, Boone, you're going to like this story. Hunter Dickinson was in the studio. We're watching games. It's like 12:30 in the morning last night, and he says to me, he's like, "Hey, Fink, what's your Kon Knueppel comp?" And I was like, "Hunter, I've been in the studio for 13 hours, my man. I'm gonna need to get back to you on this one." He's like, "I like Bogdan Bogdanovic." I was like, "All right, I think that's good." So Kon Knueppel, I'm still high on him. I'm not asking you for a comp because, frankly, I'm still working on mine. My question is he moving up your board too?
He's about where he was when we started the season, Fink, which is like around late lottery, early, like 7 to 14 is where I think he'll end up going. That's about where I expect him in this draft. This is a guy who's very fluid, a very good scorer. As we've seen throughout the season, 40% from three-point range. And he's done a number of different things this season for Duke, Fink, that I think makes him very impressive, right? Like, you're playing next to Cooper Flagg, who's a generational talent, the guy who's going to be the number 1 pick. And you've been asked to do a number of different things, right? Like, in some games, he's asked to create for Duke. In some games, he's asked to stand aside and be a shooter for Duke. And all the while he's contributing on defense, he's doing little things that's contributing to winning. And this Duke team, to me, I think is the most complete and the most balanced team in the NCAA tournament right now. And the way that he can just create his own offense, he's never rushed. He plays with just a level of confidence that I think just embodies this Duke team. So, I think Kon Knueppel, another guy who end up could be a top 5 pick in this class. I have him a little bit later and probably a little bit lower on him than you are. But I certainly see the upside in him just in terms of his overall body of work, what he is as a prospect. I think will make him a very contributable NBA prospect very early in his NBA career.
Now, one guy that you have been higher on than I have been, who I'm starting to move up, although I will admit that in my most recent mock, it had a lot to do with fit, and he would be a little bit lower on my big board. But there's no doubt about it that Jase Richardson has really helped his stock this year. There are some who say that his numbers would be even better if he were in a situation where he gets more volume. My response to that is like, how could you possibly complain about what has happened to Jase Richardson's stock this year? I think his role has been absolutely perfect, and what has happened to his stock is proof of that. So first of all, I wanted to give you your flowers because you've been high on Jase, but tell me what the case is for this lefty combo guard for the Spartans.
Yeah, I think Michigan State and Tom Izzo have done a really good job of bringing him along throughout the season. He came off the bench for the most part. Through the midway point, he was averaging 9.3 points per game. They go to the West Coast, take a tough loss to UCLA, and Izzo just decides, hey, I'm going to put this guy into our starting lineup. He's too valuable. And since he's been in the starting lineup, the last 13 games, he's averaging over 16 points per game. Michigan's offense has really evolved since he's been inserted into the starting lineup. And oh, by the way, Michigan State has a top 5 defense to boot, and Richardson has played a big role in that. This Michigan State team, they really lack scoring, shot making, playmaking on offense. I think if you were to pinpoint one thing, that would be their Achilles heel. That could be why they will not make the NCAA tournament title game and end up winning the national championship. But Richardson is the X factor here because he is one of the most complete playmaking guards in the NCAA tournament field. And I think his playmaking has been vital for Michigan State making it all the way to the Sweet 16.
All right, Boone, last 3 guys, we are going rapid fire. I'm going to give you my range and my 15 to 20 second explanation. You counter by doing the same. You ready for this?
Let's do it.
All right, Derik Queen, who has been obviously a star, I'm saying anywhere at this point from 8 to 16. I stop with the Joker comparisons, but the Alperen Sengun comparisons I am here for. Super skilled, can really dribble the ball and create in the front court. He's a way better passer than I think we've gotten to show, that he's gotten to show this year. And if the shooting ever comes along, and I know the numbers aren't good, but the technique has gotten better, it opens up all kinds of upsides. I'm at 8 to 16 in my range. Where are you?
I'm going to go a little bit higher. I think he's been really good in the NCAA tournament, what he did the last couple rounds. Obviously, Maryland has been bounced, but I think the playmaking, the passing, the scoring, Maryland playing through its bigs, and particularly through him, has been pretty eye-opening. I think his range could start at number 6 in this draft, 6 to somewhere late in the lottery. I think if you're looking at some of the bigs in this class, Kaman Malawach among them, Queen could be the best of the bunch. I think this is a really interesting class.
Jeremiah Fears, to me, I've got a wider range, but he's convincing me. I've got him 8 to 20. I think there's a very possible chance that he sneaks into the lottery with the way he closed the season out. He is dynamic with the ball in his hands. I still think there are going to be some questions in the pre-draft process. He may not be NBA ready. Real quick, Boone, what do you got for Jeremiah Fears?
8 to 20 makes a lot of sense. A guy who can get to his spots on the floor. He's super quick, very agile. Some questions about his shooting, some questions about his athleticism, his defense. But 8 to 20, I think mid-late lottery makes a lot of sense for him.
All right, if you like Boone and I breaking down NBA draft prospects, you are going to want to check out the NBA Draft Notebook over on the CBS Eye on College Basketball podcast page. We get it done there every week, and we will be doing it up until June's draft. Boone, you are the man. Great to see you. Keep up the great work.